For the first time ever after a number of years of doing SuperCoach, we're in the top 100. Still quite unbelievable that we're actually in this position, but a score of 2,477 puts us up to a rank of 79. This week alone could have been better. We did miss out on some huge premium scores, but the big picture, what a position to be in. In defense, Dawson just keeps on going. He's so good. Dacos got tagged. Stewart, under what we usually expect from him, but that's fine. Zeeble, oh my goodness. You could tell from the very start he was on a mission to Seagull the whole 4 quarters. But a 179, wowee. And Sheasel also did some solid gulling. We took Chincotta's 70 on the bench, very good stuff, and McVie solid as well. In the midfield, Bont is Bont. That's all there really is to say. Clary fought through a bit of a David Swallow tag, a 136 as captain, we definitely take that. Laird was under his best again, but I trust he'll get back up there eventually. Cogs a down game. Steele, new recruit. A really weird game. Didn't get to watch much footy over the weekend, but whenever I was watching the North Saints game, it wasn't a good game in general, but I don't really know what Steele was doing, to be honest. It felt like he was just having a cardio game. Saw a few tweets about him being parked up at full forward, so that's not ideal, but hopefully it was just some form of management, I guess, against a bad opponent. He still had 81% CBAs, I think it was. So we'll see. Hopefully we get a much better performance out of him against a better opponent in Adelaide. And Will Day, he was going really well early, but just the 84 in the end. Hopper took advantage of a bad West Coast team, so that's great to see. And Ashcroft, definitely not ideal. Wasn't in the trade plan this week, but he might have to be now with, I think, a 71 break even. And on the bench, Wilmot just beat his break even, so we'll take that. And Angwin, let's just hope he keeps his spot. I think we're okay overall in terms of cash gen anyway, but obviously ideal to have players playing on your bench. In the rucks, Darcy had a stinker, first one since round 2, and it was kind of looking like that round 2 game for a bit, seeing him at the bottom of all scorers. But thankfully it wasn't that bad. 77 still not ideal, especially when the likes of Gould and English are going 120 plus. Marshall got subbed out with an ankle injury. Ross did say that he should be fine, so hopefully that's the case. And the forward line, Taranto, didn't quite deliver as VC, but still a great game from him. Dunkley, what a stat line. Quad double, that's him at his very best. Rosie didn't use the ball well early, but got better as the game went on. Goulden, shades of the preseason, did it with no CBAs as well, so impressive. Chandler started well, but faded quite a bit. Break even still fairly low at 42, so it's fine. He's got a game at the G again against Hawthorn, so hopefully one more good game before he eventually gets traded. And we looped Samson Ryan. What a game from him. Took advantage of a weak opponent and a weak matchup. Up to over 300k now. So glad we picked him. And Seamus Mitchell, that's fine. As long as he keeps getting games, we'll take it. Trades this week I'm not 100% sure on. I do know who I'm going to bring in. It's been part of the plan the last 2 or 3 weeks now, and that will be Zach Merritt. Who I trade down to though, I don't know. There aren't many downgrade options this week. Weddle, Atkins, Nevitt maybe. The plan at the moment is McVie, 52 break even. He can definitely beat that, but out of all the cash cows that I have that are ready to be traded out, he's one of the closest, as well as Ashcroft with a 71 break even. Could go Hopper out, but coming off a 111, definitely trust him on field over Ashcroft. I'd rather keep Hopper in that case. So we'd be going McVee to Atkins for now. Not completely sold on him, but he has the role. Took the most kick-ins, I think, for Gold Coast against Melbourne with Lockie Weller out. Has a nice matchup against West Coast this week and also has the good bye. So if he keeps his spot, then he could go alright. Obviously, Weddle gets me a lot more cash to work with for future trades. But I'm going to stick with Atkins for now. If he gets named, I think I will. And then, obviously, Zach Merritt is coming in. Leaves me with 63k in the bank. 132 break even. You could probably wait another week. But I'm happy to bring him in now. So this will be the team heading into round 9. We have 18 premiums now, or what I consider to be 18. A couple of speculative ones, but hopefully they perform well enough to stick around when the team is complete. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. With the current setup, let's say days in defense here, we'd need M6 to 8 upgraded and F6 or D6, because we can always swing one of Zeeble or Sheasel up forward. But it's mainly the midfield that needs to be upgraded. Next week, I might look at trading out Hopper. I probably don't need to. I'd rather have him stick around. He's the most trustworthy on-field option out of the lot that I need to upgrade. And Richmond also have the last bye, so it'll be good to have him through the early bye rounds at the very least. I don't think I'd have to trade him. I could go Wilmot and Chandler. Let's say Wilmot down to Drury. We'll say Wilmot stays around the price, 265, down to Drury at 103. We'll round him up for the sake of it. That's 162k, which gets me up to 225k in the bank, if I'm doing my math right there. Then we'd go Chandler out at, let's say, 365. That would get me up to 590k. On my watch list, we currently have Cripps, Neal, Parrish, Walsh, Mills, and Petrarca from the midfield. We also have Ollie Wines, just because he's super cheap. I'm not going to go anywhere near him unless we want a luxury M9, if we can even get to that point. But out of the top premium mids in my watch list, Cripps, probably not interested in. I think I'd rather Walsh. Neal, definitely one on the radar. He's going to be value in a week or two. I could get him next week, but his break even will still be pretty high with the 63 in his system, but we'll see. Parrish, pretty biased towards him after the first half of 2022. He was a real bright spot in my team. But now that I'm committing to Merritt, I don't know if I want both. There's nothing wrong with having both. It's just, I think I'd rather a mid from another team at this stage. Walsh could actually get DPP, so we'll keep an eye on that, but definitely one on my radar. Mills, he's certainly value right now. If he gets the mid-time, incredible ceiling. So we'll see how he goes against Freo, but definitely one I wouldn't mind trading in if he's getting good mid-time again. And Petrarca, probably out of reach. It's fine. So I don't know. It could be Neal next week. We'll see how he goes. He's had some pretty rough games this year, so he's just a watch at this stage. Captains this week for me are pretty straightforward. Clary VC against Hawthorn and Bont C against Carlton. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll do some rookie looping as well with Atkins and Ryan. Both play on the Friday night. 2 Friday night games, one of them being West Coast and Gold Coast, so that's quite bizarre. Don't know the exact reason for it, but gives us the opportunity to loop there. I'd say whoever scores better out of Atkins and Ryan will get the on-field donut to cover them. So if Ryan goes better than Atkins, we'll just sub Roberts into the forward line. That's pretty straightforward. Yeah, that will do it. Hopefully we can crack top 50 this week. We'll go for that. I think we're like 40 points behind. So we'll see how we go. Liking how the team looks. It's just all about how they perform. And just hope for no injuries. But I hope you all had massive weeks yourselves. Good luck to you all for round 9, and see you in the next one.